Alright, let's see. Are we good to go here? I think we are. We got game audio. We got... Hell yeah. Alright. Hello, everybody. It's been a long fucking time since I've done anything in front of a camera, in front of people, talking about Dota. I haven't even played Dota in a few weeks, but fucking TI always ropes you back in, and so fucking here I am. Let's do it. So, today I wanted to look over how the fuck Collapse managed to win every goddamn lane he played. Well, maybe not win it, but come out of it okay. He got given some shit matchups in the last day's matches. And it boggled my mind because the attention was always on the mid lane. They were always looking at Toronto, Tokyo, and Yatoro and how they were laning out. And I just kept going, how is Collapse not dead? How is he not feeding? How, like, what is happening? And as an offlane player, that question was just, like, racking my brain all night last night while we were watching these games. So I want to go back through, watch not all of Team Spirit's games, but I want to see a few of them and figure out how the fuck they pulled this off, because Collapse is a sick player, as the world has just learned. His Magnus plays were unreal, but he had some other games too. He's played, like this first game that we're going to watch here, you know, he's playing Tidehunter into a Juggernaut Enchantress lane. Or a Juggernaut Grimstroke lane, which should be doom and gloom for Tide. You should die a million times in that lane. You get spun, you get ink swelled, you're done. Like, there's no surviving that. You just Jug presses Q and you die and you cry about it. But it didn't happen to Collapse. He's 0-2 in this game. He came out of the lane. I think he was ahead of Jug in this game. It was nuts. We're gonna watch it and figure it out. Let's heckin' go. Cool. Just making sure the stream's all good. Let's jump into Dota. Cool. Alright. Let's watch a replay. For the record, I have not watched any of these games since I watched them live last night, so everything is good. We're going to be learning on the fly here. We're going to skip past the draft because we already know what that is. They added a jump to game button. Oh my god, that is so nice. So nice. Alright. Let's go. Alright. This is the man of the night, the man we're going to be following, because, like I said, it's absolutely unreal.
Step lively now. 30 seconds to is on board.
Let's go outside, they send him back to base, no problem.
Step lively now. Your admiral is on board.
Fox into trouble, okay. So, okay, I didn't actually even remember this. So, first death of the game happens before the horn. And he only died twice in this entire game, so we're gonna see what he does from here. Alright, so lane's starting out pretty normal here. I think in terms of like this matchup, Willow versus Enchantress, Willow is actually favored, but it is hard to do well in this lane. Like if you miss brambles like this, you know, Puppy just walks away from it. You're spending a lot of mana to use that every single time. So the 4 versus 5 matchup is kind of tough here. And I think a lot of what we'll be talking about tonight as we go through these replays as well is how Mirror contributes to this. Because I think there's definitely a philosophy on Team Spirit of you know, having the core in the lane come help the support. It got talked about on the broadcast last night about how Yatoro tends to come help Miposhka push off the 4 position, and it does really well. Looks like we just missed a little thing here. Yeah. Gosh. Okay, force out the spin, smack him a couple times. Alright, so they waste that out. Something I noticed, and I saw this when I was watching their games last night, but this 2 Gauntlet of Strength opening tends to be kind of the standard, but I'm surprised he hasn't been going Quelling Blade with this as well, because I think might just be a Tidehunter thing because he has Anchor Smash, but I know on Mars, he was going for this double Gauntlets as well, and I think he was going double Gauntlets, Culling Blade, and Tangos. Okay, yeah, Puppy dies here. Let's back that up a little bit as well. Oh, right, yeah. Puppy just walked through the 2 brambles. Okay, I remember watching that last night. That's just unfortunate. Micro by Puppy, and without him, Jung's left a little bit alone. Okay, so this lane is actually just... It's just easier than I thought. I think I remember when I was watching this draft, I was looking at this being an Inkswell on the jug, and I was like, oh man, you're absolutely screwed. With Enchantress, I mean, it's kind of the same thing, because when you enchant, it slows, you get the spin on top, it does pretty well, but even still, like, looking at the last hits here, like... Okay, so Jug is up by about 5, but there is a huge wave under the tower here that Collapse should get most of. It's really hard to mess up last hits under the tower as under Tide because you have Anchor Smash. Yeah, 12 to 15. Alright, goes and picks up the Ring of Health as his first item here, and then he's going to have really no time. Mira's going to go down. That was a pretty easy death. As soon as that net hit, she was gone. So yeah, I guess, like, as I'm watching this here, I'm seeing that, like, Matoma Man's getting caught using... Well, I mean, not caught, but he's using his Blade Fury for other stuff, right? Like, they're not going on Tide. Puppy's not making an effort to kill Tidehunter. You know, the first time Matoma Man had to spin just to avoid some of those brambles, and now this lane actually just looks good for him. He's gotten past the hardest part. Like, I think those first couple levels are really when you feel like you're gonna have the roughest time, when that, like, level 2... you know, spin is going to come in with the enchant, but now that he's kind of got 2 points in the Anchor Smash and the Ring of Health, he's just not going to care. He's going to stand here, and yeah, you can see, like, he's getting spun on, but he just turns and he fights it, and now Matoma Man just kind of can't hit him as hard as he can hit back. And meanwhile, Mira's just driving Puppy away. He got that kill, took him off the lane. This is interesting, because I think, like, if I saw this lane, I'd be like, oh, I'm just going to feed, but... You know, like, and you see here, like, Secret and Puppy, they go for it, but they're not quite on the same page. They don't, like, commit to it, and they realize that they have to walk away because Collapse is just a bit too big. And he's already on top of this matchup. He's already just fucking winning. Like, he's won the lane by 5 minutes. And you're going to see, like, right now, like, their CS is pretty close, but it's going to start jumping ahead for Collapse because he's going to have that dominance and be able to just do this, walk up, and smack the jug. And now there's, like, an aggressive spin. There's Centaur coming in as well. He's just juking it out going north. And this regen is so crazy. And Matoma Man realizes he can't go in further with those brambles out. Rotation coming in from Tokyo helps it out. Sick. I mean, it's crazy because as I'm watching this, I'm thinking to myself, like, am I dumb? Is this maybe just a good matchup for Tide? Like, does Tide have a good matchup here? But I think that's just them being so fucking sick at Dota that, like, it just looks that way.
Bounty.
I feel like Tide shouldn't be winning this matchup, but... You know, Mira does play a big part in that as well. He did a really good job at kind of zoning out that Enchantress, keeping Enchantress from being able to run over with, you know, a creep and an enchant. You know, like a Hellbear Smasher and an enchant and a spin is probably going to be more than enough to get a kill, or it would have at least a few levels ago before this comes out. But straight into Hood of Defiance and Soul Ring. This is another interesting thing that I noticed about him a lot. He will go for his first full item without boots. When he plays Mars, no boots, straight into the armlet. When he plays Tidehunter, no boots, straight into the Hood Soul Ring. He doesn't really care about movement speed if he's picking up enough tank items to just stand on the lane, and I think that is kind of a testament to the heroes that he plays, this Mars, this Tide, this the Magnus, is that not only are they tanky as fuck heroes, but they're also, you know, not really worried about, like, just standing there or getting out on their own merits, right? Like this Tide, he can kind of just waddle away and take damage with Kraken Shell. With Mars, he can always kind of spear away, or he can ulti if he needs to. With Magnus, he can always skewer and stuff. Like, he doesn't value the boots as much, and I think that's something that I just wouldn't think of. As I'm playing, you know, an offlane hero, I'm just like, okay, yeah, you get your bracer, then your boots, and your magic wand, and blah blah blah, and then you get your first item. And watching this, it's really apparent to me why he plays the way he does, is because if he can get these early tanky items, this Soul Ring, this Hood, he's just a monster. Look at this. He's regenerating 16 HP a second with no tangles or anything going. He's got bonus magic resist. What does Jug do? Like, this spin isn't gonna do fuck all. And Matoma Man's gone. He's off to the jungle. He doesn't want to be in this lane anymore because he's just gonna get anchor smashed. Okay, this is sick. Okay, cool. I think I kind of see what went on in this game, and like from here on out, he's just good. He's not gonna, you know, this isn't really the learning phase anymore. We've hit the 10 minutes, so let's check out the next game. We'll kind of go over that and see what's going on there. Alright, the first game, I was debating if I wanted to watch this one. Do I? Let's watch it anyways, yeah. I think there's some stuff to glean from this, even though it wasn't a one game or a one lane. Alright, jump to game, jump ahead to the loading screen. Let's go!
Prepare for battle.
Alright, we can jump ahead through some of the early game stuff. Alright, so he did go for the Quelling Blade. It was just on the tide that he skipped it. He's got the gauntlets, he's got the Quelling Blade. Bringing a Sentry Ward to lane. I don't know if that was his, that might have just been, yeah, on the IO. Puppy just giving him the business here. This ET hits so hard. This is a really rough lane. But Salve already coming out. Puppy's got regen, tethers for days. He's gonna be nice and tanky here. The thing with this lane is it's really, really hard to ever kill Matoma Man, because this hero is such high armor. Look at this, 10 armor at level 1 with the extra slippers of agility there. This Terrorblade just doesn't take damage, and you know, especially as a Mars where your only magic damage is your spear, and you know, your God's Rebuke is not hitting as hard. It's really tough to, like, you know, bully a Terrorblade out of lane. So you know, Spirit did really poorly in this game overall, but I'm curious to see how he plays this, because I would consider this a disadvantaged lane as well. Like, this is a really rough lane to try to play. IO doesn't help a lot against that ET. Actually, probably even harms you because it's more spirit damage, more of this that's just going to happen. Yeah, he just gets punched down by Puppy. That extra little bit of hero damage. Like, this IO is almost a detriment to this lane. I'm not saying Mira played bad or anything, but like, just IO gives you the regen in exchange for being an extra body there for the ET to get Astral Spirit charges on. Go in, get a little good poke on Puppy here. Hits as well. Okay, so 12, well, 13 to 14. He's doing pretty evenly. Like, he's all right on last hits here. That is the one nice thing about the Terrorblade, is that Terrorblade doesn't really have any inherent, like, you know, last hitting mechanisms. So you can almost always secure that range creep. Turn on Matoma Man, get a kill, really nice, but he pays for it. Yeah, the ET is so rough to play against. Sorry, I'm just tinkering with my stream settings here. 2 seconds. Okay, cool. Alright. We're set. I just thought I might have had something set wrong, but I think I'm good. Cool. Let's keep this going. So, straight into the Helm of Iron Will. How... Wait, so... Kind of want to just back up a sec. See... Yeah, okay, he just buys at the shop here. Fluffy hat and another set of things. Oh, he's just bringing that Briar. Okay. What's that Fluffy hat for? Punched again, zoned out a little bit. Going in on the IO there. Blocks out with a good crowd rebuke, and he's back in. I mean, there's nothing like too extraordinary or outstanding here. I think the thing that I'm starting to take away from this, though, is this, you know, kind of greedy starting item build, right? Like, you know, when I tend to play offlane, I tend to start like Tango, Salve, Mango, like, you know, like really gear up on the regen. But what I'm seeing more and more from Collapse here is that, like, he recognizes that if he plays well, he can use that first, like, he can use his first 600 to 800 gold to buy an item that's going to secure the lane for him, right? So he goes for these 2 gauntlets, Quelling Blade, 1 set of tangos in lane. And of course Mira supplements that a little bit in this game on IO, but in the last game on the Dark Willow, like, you know, he just went 1 set of tangos on the Tide Hunter as well, and he was just as well off. Slightly different scenario. I think he actually got a Sal from Mira at one point as well. But, like, really relying on teammates for the regen here. And instead he goes for this, you know, relatively greedy build where he goes the 2 Gauntlets of Strength into the Quelling Blade, and then he's able to get a Helm of Iron Will at, what was it, 4 minutes or 5 minutes that he picked this up. And now he almost has an armlet. And I think what you'll start to see is that kind of, you know, as that armlet comes up, well, I mean, I was going to say, you're going to see Terrorblade get the hell out of the lane. He's already gone. Because he realizes that as this kind of next set of items comes up, he's just going to have a hard time lasting, right? Collapse is going to out-regen him, he's going to just, you know, cast spells on him, and it's just going to be rough. He can get more gold in the jungle, so he takes off, and Collapse is sitting here with a full armlet before he finishes boots, so it's kind of the second, yeah, that's kind of the theme that I'm seeing here, is like, you know, he picks up this armlet, he's immediately, you know, buffing up onto Poppy, puffing his chest a little bit, you know, and now this lane is his. He's all alone, he's happy, he can go for whatever he wants. He's starting to fly out boots now. And I wonder if he'll go for the full phase boots or if he'll go straight into Blink here. He's got the Soul Ring queued up as well.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Toronto, Tokyo, NA Pride. Is Toronto, Tokyo from NA? A bunch of my friends were asking about the name and wondering if he was, you know, part Canadian or something. I actually don't know the story there behind his name, but he's a sick player anyways. Alright. I mean, I don't know if there's too much more to watch here. I mean, this is just kind of where we got to last game, like 10 minutes. The carry's fucked off, Collapse on the lane, he gets the first kill, he gets his tower, he's got his armlet. Lane secured, you know, 65 last hits, and Terrorblade is off farming, which I think is where this game got off the rails a little bit. That is that they didn't chase down this Terrorblade and finish him off, but Collapse did everything he needed to. He came out of this lane just as happy and healthy as he did in any other scenario. Keeping him to defend mid now. And yeah, he's looking good. Like, he's got Phase Boots well on the way, Soul Ring up next, and then Blink Dagger after that. I don't think we have to watch too much more of this game here, but yeah, it's starting to make a lot of sense to me, kind of where, you know, where he gets this lane stability from. You know, he did feed a first... Actually, it's interesting. He fed an early kill in both of the games that we've watched so far. That first game, he got caught and first blooded on Tide. This game, he had that level 2 death to Poppy as he was kind of running for the river here. But, you know, he's stable. He's good. Which is exactly what you want out of Joffrey, right? He's 3rd highest on CS. He's got his initiation items well on his way, and the rest of the team can kind of do their thing. Sick. Let's move on. More games. Collapse is a fucking god. Game 3. Magnus versus Tiny Shadow Demon. Right. Oh, I remember this one being kind of rough. Okay, cool. Let's check it out. Oh, man. I am tired. Stayed up all fucking night watching TI. Got a 3-hour nap and then woke back up, so I didn't completely ruin my sleep schedule, so I gotta sleep again in a couple hours, but... Jump to game. Let's go. Plus 60. Where are we at? The Collapse Magnus. Okay. Starts with a Ring of Regen, Gauntlets of Strength, and Quelling Blade this game. So again, only the set of tangos as his starting lane regen, which is really interesting. Mira starts with the tangos and healing salve. So Mira will probably feed him that salve if he needs it, but if he doesn't, he's just good. Is he gonna feed First Blood again? Oh, you know what? I saw in the game, I saw this one CS and I couldn't figure out where the wolf died. You just chucked the tree at it. That makes sense. Okay, Collapse getting bullied by Puppy a little bit here. No cares. No cares. Starts with Shockwave. That's interesting. I don't know. I don't like Shockwave level 1 on Magnus myself, but it's kind of interesting to see why he does it. Like I'm sure the reason is secures range creeps, but he's so far used it on 2 melee creeps to just get early last hits that were kind of tough there. He's gonna get this one with an auto attack, and then I guess it won't be off cooldown before this range creep, but he gets it anyways. So he's not bad on the first creep wave there. 3-0. Mira is getting absolutely pumped over here. Oh, right, yeah, that was the neutral deny. That was so sick. He gets, yeah, he started with the magic stick because he knew he was up against the Shadow Demon, and then he pops the Fairy Fire, lives long enough to get denied by this Satyr, avoid the First Blood. That was wicked. Yeah, Collapse is kind of alone in this lane, and it's interesting to me that he's not kind of getting, like, clicked a little bit more, you know? Like, I kind of anticipate, like, Puppy, if he, you know, he knows that the Dark Willow isn't there, he should, like, I kind of feel like he should just be, like, around here, just, like, you know, poking Collapse a little bit, just trying to chip his health down a little bit. But I guess he's worried more about positioning than anything, right? He wants to stay out, he wants to keep his HP up. And I think it's a testament to Collapse's good positioning, too, because he's always kind of on the far side of this creep wave, which means that if Puppy wants to harass, he does have to get in range of his creeps and take some creep collateral damage. So okay, he got a magic stick brought out to him by Mira, I think. Oh yeah, the Tumble Man gets away with this. That was dirty. And actually that magic stick almost changed that fight too, because he had enough charges that he was able to survive that initial little burst, survived for a second, and then Puppy finished him off. Unfortunate, but yeah, again, this is like an early lane kill, which, like, again, I feel like would just kind of be a death knell for anybody that's, you know, a lesser player. But there's 3 games in a row that we've watched now where he's fed a kill before kind of the 2-minute mark, and his lane has still just been totally fine. So this is really interesting to watch. And actually, okay, so that's just something I wanted to watch out for was, again, item build. Trying to figure out what he's doing with his items here. Because he does actually go for boots. And I guess with Magnus it makes more sense because you get that step in front skewer, and so you have a lot more kill potential with the boots than on these other heroes. But on the Tidehunter, we saw him go straight for that Ring of Health, and on the Mars, we saw him go straight for the Helm of Iron Will before boots, and you know, the logic being kind of, okay, yeah, he's looking for a way to just be able to stand in the lane. And I guess here, he's worried a little bit more about the burst damage from the Tiny and the Shadow Poison pop. And he wants to get that positioning advantage so he can maybe get a skewer into the tower and stuff. So boots come first here with the magic stick. And And I'm curious to see if he just goes straight into these arcanes. It looks like he is going to. Like, he's got the arcanes queued up. He's got 2 points in Shockwave, so the more mana he has, the more last hits he has. Makes a lot of sense here. And I guess you don't really want to be standing in a wave trading clicks with a Tiny, because, you know, if you try to go Empower on the lane and you just try to chip out via Empower trades, it's not going to do you super well, because that Tiny is just going to be smacking you with a tree. Creep wave well, blah blah blah. He's looking really good here. Mirror grabs the creep wave, takes a little bit of damage for it, but ends up fine. Skewered into the Bramble. I didn't see this play. I don't think they had that on the stream, but yeah, that would have been an interesting skewer back into like this Bramble maybe. Might have been able to do a little bit more damage. I don't know if you think he might not have had the time to do it there. Salves pop. Again, a gifted salve from the support. So I think this entire game Collapse has only bought a set of tangos for regen for himself. Used up those tangos. He died once to get his HP, to get his health back. Well, not to get his health back, but got his health back via dying. And then gets another salve there. So again, spending very little on regen and really opting to just like lean into these HP regen items. Getting that ring of regen, getting that magic stick, and he opts to fly himself out a headdress as well. So he's going to start working on that mech. That was something that he did a lot on his Magnus. He would go for that arcane boost in the mech. Makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah, picks up a shout in here. Easy kill. Nice. Woo! Maybe not so easy kill. Oh yeah, he dies for that shit. Alright. But he's got his arcane boots and his headdress here, so, you know, realistically, he shouldn't have too many problems. Oh yeah, this is the big swing for Yatoro. Let's look at this net worth here, because he was like just in the lead, and I remember, yeah. God Strength clears out the triple Ancients, gets 5 neutral items here. What a chat. We're watching Collapse, though. Toro, maybe another day. Last hits. Good pulls, good side control. So, this is kind of cool. Like, and the interesting thing is that none of this is, like, super mind-blowing. None of this is, like, wow, this is so crazy and insane, but, like, it's just these little micro-efficiencies that, you know, a player that's going to win TI is aware of, right? He did buy a second set of tangos here, but that's like the most regen he's bought all game. I know in my games I will fucking buy so many salves, just like, oh, okay, I gotta fight in the lane, buy a salve, and like you hope that your trades are favorable to the enemy, but he's not even doing that. He's kind of just preserving his health, being smart about where he takes his engagements, being really just calculated with every little trade he makes. And that allows him to just eke more out, right? He gets this headdress, he gets this magic stick for the regen from the Shadow Poison, and then he's got Arcane Boots, so now he can just spam out his spells all he fucking wants, and he's feeling good. He gets a Chip Vest too, which is going to help a lot. That's 4 regen, that item is insane. And yeah, again, this is kind of that 10-minute mark. Again, we've seen this in all 3 of the games that we watched here. Matama Man gone by about 9.5, 10 minutes, and Collapse just kind of owns the lane. He can just, you know, farm and push that tower to his heart's content. And part of this is pro meta as well. I mean, carries are going to get more gold out on the map, so Tiny rotates out to the triangle to farm as much gold and farm the ancient stacks as he can. But, you know, Collapse is happy with this, and he forces that. He makes that happen by being... Again, I keep using this word stable. Like, he's a rock in the lane where he just builds himself up to a point where you just don't want to lane against him. You can't quite kill him. You can't quite, you know, push him out. You're not going to burst him down. You need to bring resources to kill Collapse, and you don't want to do that because there's, you know, a Sven on the other side of the map farming, right? You need to find the Sven, not worry about the Magnus. And because of that, you see Magnus is the 4th highest farm here. He's above his own mid laner, who admittedly had a rough game this game, but above the enemy offlaner as well, and just farming up these more, and he's going to start accelerating his Sven, and I think we all know kind of the story of the game from here, where this Empower starts kicking in, and Yatoro just slingshots off to the moon in terms of net worth. Awesome. That was really cool. Let's check out the series versus LGD. I think this was one of the ones where I was just kind of mind blown. This first game, I remember thinking, how in the fuck did he not die to an Ursa disruptor over and over and over? Like, that, it just feels like it's guaranteed death. Like, as a Tide Hunter, how do you deal with an Ursa lane? It's so hard. It's one of the hardest lanes that you can have. And I think I remember in the draft them talking about this and saying, oh yeah, like, you know, they're giving him a bad matchup, but they're doing it on purpose because they need the Tide Hunter. But it does not matter here. Let's skip ahead. Oh, we gotta pause to start this one. Okay, cool. Alright, so, Tide Hunter, again, starting with the Gauntlets of Strength and the Quelling Blade. I think the first Tide Hunter game, he went without the Quelling Blade and he went for a Ring of Protection? Question mark? What did he buy that game? I remember noting that he didn't have a Quelling Blade, but
30 seconds and counting.
I wonder what happened.
The battle begins.
Alright. Not feeding First Blood this game. Nice and calm, gets a good block off. He's in the lane. Oh, okay, it was Io up here, right. Disruptor was 4. Alright, so just gets a good pull off, or like a good creep manipulation. And he's making sure that the wave kind of stays intact there. Again, Mira doing really good at just kind of poking on the carry and making sure that, is this Ame? Ame, no, yeah, Ame.
Yes.
Can't quite get up to the creeps. I'm kind of curious what this would have looked like if they had just gone for the Io 4. Because Io with Lycan, I mean, it doesn't sound like a great lane, but Disruptor Ursa sounds really good for killing Tide. Or Lion, like either way, you pop a Static Field and a Thunderstrike, and Zerza can just kind of click you down. Let's see here. Full Magic Stick on the Ursa too, which is kind of nice. Full Magic Stick on Io as well, or nearly full. Okay. Just got on the courier here. Okay, so Boots and Tango. Okay, so I think, again, like, general theory, he does want to go for that Ring of Health again, but this time he knows that, like, okay, it's an Ursa, you need movement speed. You can't just try to be a beef stick here on the Ursa. Brings his back, does a little bit of extra damage, stands his ground a bit. I kind of like that. I think if he kept running, he just keeps getting chased and keeps getting clicked. Second set of tangos, but I think fully necessary for this lane. He's already kind of down 2/3 health, and he's out of tangos, so sets himself up for that. He has the movement speed advantage now. Ursa's going to have his boots as well, just making sure he's ahead of that arms race and isn't going to get run down. Alright, so again, nothing too groundbreaking here. Nothing that I'm, like, overly shocked by. Just good creep control, you know, knowing the matchup, buying the right items for that. See where he goes from here. Chase down a little bit there. Mirror's in trouble. The Lion's gonna die. Oh, Lion is not going to die, right? Oh, Lion is going to die. I did watch it. I remembered what happened there, but I was like, that's just fun. Yeah. Killing some time, hiding in trees, cutting his way through. Bounty. Alright, gets that Ring of Health now, so he's a lot tankier on this lane, but Yeah, it is rough because the Ring of Health doesn't help you a ton against Ursa. If you're going to die to Ursa, you're going to die to Fury Swipes, and that damage is all going to come in a really short period of time. But this is helping him kind of tank the creeps a little bit, manipulate the wave a little bit more, make sure that he's always full health when that engagement comes so that he can have a couple more Fury Swipes to take before he goes down. Just looking good here. Like, he's just playing super smooth, playing super calm, controlled. Disruptor shows up, but no cares. He kind of just walks it off. Even beefs up on Y a little bit. Steals that creep wave, walks away. This is really interesting. I can't help but wonder what it would be like if Secret had swapped their support duo here, because, I mean, Naga, ET into Io, like, yeah, that's probably a terribly losing lane. I was talking in the earlier game about how ET against the Io, it's just like, you get a free extra hero, basically, and I think with Lycan and Wolves and stuff, that ET is just going to smack you to death. So having the Disruptor offer a little bit of control for that probably was the reasoning behind that, but it does make this lane a little bit harder. The Ursa is kind of just 1v2 in this lane, and you can see how he ends up just shying away from a lot of engagements. I think you typically see an Ursa just running you down, kind of trying to stack up these Fury Swipes like this, and Ame is just being a little bit careful because he knows that if he goes a little bit too far, he could get gushed, turned on, earth spiked, etc., and things start to get ugly for him. Now that he's 6, he's probably going to be less scared of that, but yeah, here's getting chased down here, but support is there. Collapse is just having a great time now. He's full health, he's got phase boots for that little bit of extra armor, that little bit of extra movement speed. He's not going to be under threat from the Ursa too badly. I mean, maybe with a big rotation, but he's doing just fine now, and because Ursa's, you know, heading off to jungle and heading off to clear these hard camps, he's kind of got the lane to himself now to just anchor smash away, and we're going to see, I think, Soul Ring coming up pretty soon here. That's on the courier, yeah. Soul Ring there, and he's good. He's off to the races, so yeah. Really cool. I mean, yeah, again, like, nothing earth-shattering here, but just really calm, collected, cool, smart play. The type of shit that I could not possibly dream of.
Radiant should look to their bottom tower.
Rotation's coming in. He's got the Ravage. Oh yeah, they missed this. But it doesn't matter. Oh, his last series. Ame is gonna have to run off the jungle. Oh yeah, this play. Why'd you go for the hard kill? Oh, that was so bad. Yeah, Ame should have just TP'd out to triangle or run down deep jungle over here or something. He, I don't think he knew how many people were gonna be there, but yeah, you can see this, like 61 to 62 in an Ursa versus Tide lane. Like, this is a lane that is heavily Ursa favored in most scenarios. Part of it has to do with the support duo. I think the fact that there was a Lion versus an Io just kind of tipped the scales a little bit in this game. But, you know, fundamentally, like, I feel like Spirit's heroes could have just died a couple more times, you know? If you ever pop that Earth Spike on Lion, I think Ursa should just kind of run at you, but Gush slowing you down, it's rough. And you see again, like, Collapse just totally fine on his lane. Happy as a pig in shit, and he's got basically all the core items he needs here. What's he got flying out to him? Basically everything. That'll be his hood, his magic wand, and then he's heading straight for a blink, and he's just free to farm all he wants. 4th highest CS is chased on, but he's got a full hood. He actually doesn't give a shit, doesn't lose any of his health, TP's out. LOL, OG, I can't believe it. Easiest money of my life. Dude, Collapse is so sick. Alright. What is this game? Morphling and Io versus Willow. Fuck it. You know what? We're watching all of them. I was gonna say, did we watch this one? Yeah, we're watching all of them. Watch 4 games so far, 4 more to go. Let's do it! Where's the Magnoceros? Alright, so again, starting with this double gauntlet Quelling Blade Tango build.
Easiest money of my life.
Some good creep manipulation here. Starts with the Empower of this game. So last time I was commenting about how he started with Shockwave, wanted to secure a couple creeps, but I think in this lane he's more worried about the damage discrepancy because Morphling has that really high base damage because he can Agi-Morph at level 1. And so Magnus makes sure that with those 2 gauntlets and the Empower, he's just starting out with even more damage than the Morphling can pump out, which I think is pretty smart. I wonder what the thought process was between this game and the last game, though, because I think he was kind of in a similar scenario against the... who was he playing Mag last time? I can't remember what Ame was... Or Ame? No, Matoma Man was playing in that game when he played Magnus. Was that the Jug? No, it wasn't the Jug. Hold up! Secret of Spirit, Game 3... Played Magnus again. Oh, the Tiny. Oh, okay. So yeah, I guess that's interesting because I guess, yeah, okay. I was talking about that during the game because against the Tiny, you probably have that scenario where the you're not going to gain the damage advantage by going Empower because Tiny is always going to have 80, 90, or more damage with a tree, and you're going to get out harassed via the splash damage on the tree than you're going to offer with the Empower. But in this scenario, the Empower puts him over the Morphling's attack damage, so he can guarantee that he's going to get more last hit, so he doesn't need to go for the Shockwave to burst the creeps down, basically. That's kind of cool. Okay. That's kind of a handy takeaway. I mean, like, yeah, take the spell that's going to give you the highest consistent damage advantage, right? And you can see that's really what he's done here. Cool. We're learning, friends. We're learning. Ooh, he does complete a bracer this game. Okay, that's kind of interesting. I was commenting about how every other game went for the soaring, but I guess on the Magnus, since he likes to go for this early arcane boots, he's opted to go for that bracer. And I think, again, part of that is making sure that he maintains a damage advantage on Ame here, because with that bracer, he gets a little bit more, a little more stats. He's at 78 plus 19 here, whereas Ame is just on that 71 damage purely from the stats. So he's making sure that no matter what, he always has the attack damage advantage. Super neat. I like that. And he is still kind of going for that 1-1-1 build. As he gets this Arcanes up, I think he'll go... We'll see what he does. Last game, he went kind of like 2-4-1 as his skill build here. And I think a lot of that was because he wanted to be able to empower the Sven to farm. This game, he's got the Luna, so we'll see what he does differently. Very cool, very cool.
Radiant's courier has been on the ground, and we're already looking for more.
He's being a little conservative. Okay, I was about to say, he's being a little conservative with that Empower too. He went for a few last hits there without casting it. I wonder if there's a rhyme or reason, or if he just forgot. High stakes TI match, man. Woo! Nice skewer back. Ame, take a little bit of damage there. Easy harass. Okay, he went 2 points in power. Yeah, this is cool. I bet you we'll see him go more points in Shockwave as soon as he gets the Arcanes up. Let's speed things up here. creep wave. Takes over there. Yeah, easy small camp farm there.
To their bottom tower.
This is sick as well. Really getting the most creep wave pull, making sure that he gets both the small camp and the hard camp out of it. Huge for accelerating his XP. Back to lane, didn't miss a beat. 3 points in the Empower now. But only 1 in the Shockwave. So, pretty stark difference. Well, I wouldn't say stark difference. Because in the last game he did max the Empower first as well. He just went 2 points in the Shockwave first. And I think part of that was because of the Tiny. He needed to be able to secure range creeps, which he couldn't do because the Tiny was just going to hit him with a tree and it was going to be a rough day. So, that's kind of cool. Alright, now just cutting waves. What's this Morphling going to do? What's the Morphling going to do? Easy shallow stack here. Mira might have even made that stack for him. Oh.
Radiant forces. Radiant's bottom
There's
tower
some tangos, headdress.
is in danger.
Just a shovel, digs up the salve. He's feeling good. Ooh, alright, RP.
To their middle tower.
Ah, man. They got a kill here? Oh, they got a kill here, right?
Regeneration.
Yeah, that always that profit rotation thread. But again, he just doesn't care. Like, he's so tanky. Like, between the bracer, the gauntlets, the headdress, which he has backpack right now because he wants to sell, but like... No, and the shovel, I guess. 100 health on the shovel, too. Like, this guy's got 1400 HP at 8 minutes, and 6 armor and a... I was gonna say shit ton, but decent amount of regen.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And again, like, Ame, like, walks over and looks at him, and he's like, ah, get out of my jungle, but you can't really stop him, right? Like, he throws out an adaptive strike, and then Collapse just hits him. Look at this, like, this man's up on it. I don't think they get the kill here, but it doesn't matter. It's just slowing Ame down, making him waste time doing stuff like this. And ideally, his carry's out farming him, but his carry is dead right now. Oh yeah, this game was sick. Cuts down the tree, gets a little bit further away so the wisp balls don't hit him, and then he TP's out. And he's well on his way to a mechanism. So this is kind of the first game where I think, like, I was gonna say he lost a lane, but he didn't lose a lane. Like, he's losing his tower first because there was a big fat rotation, but look at the CS difference. Like, 20 CS up on a Morphling is nothing to scoff at. Morphling is a hard hero to push out a lane, and it was just this, like, slow and calm bullying. Like, he never really... he never killed Morphling, and he never, like, really did enough damage that Morphling was like, oh, fuck, gotta go back to base or anything. But, like, it was just, like, slow and constant enough that he could do this, where he just kind of smacks Ame a couple times, cuts his creep wave, gets in his face, makes him take some creep damage. Every once in a while, maybe skewers him back into some brambles or something. And you can see the effect it has, right? Like, Ame is down, like, 15, 14 CS right now. And yeah, like, he's, you know, Ame's not comfortable. He can't farm this hard camp. Eventually, he fucks off. He says, okay, I'm just going to go farm Ancients. And actually, they did save this tier 1. So look at this, like, 11 minutes, and Collapse kind of has his lane now. 4th highest on CS, as we've seen in every single game we've watched so far. And him and Mira are just happy campers. They're going to take this tier 1. Yatoro comes in to take the tower, and then he's off empowering his carry and rocking the game. It's so sick. Like, it's just... It's the most minute details. You watch this shit and you think, like, oh man, he's just got to be so sick. He's got to be just outplaying him. Like, he's dodging every spell or something. Like, this isn't mechanical skill. This is just brains. This is just fucking big brain energy. Cool. Might jump off to the next game pretty quick here. I don't know how the rest of this game plays out, but yeah, full Arcane's mech finished at like 12 minutes, well on his way to his Blink Dagger. Gonna rotate off to the hard lane now and just take over some of that dangerous space while the Luna farms Ancient stacks and gets off to a crazy start. I mean, 155 CS at 13 minutes on Yatoro. No shit, they won this game. Damn! Alright, cool. Let's go next game. Okay, this was a more sad game. And actually, this will be an interesting one to watch because, Undying is a bitch to lane against, and especially against Magnus. So we'll see how he handles this. I think this is one of the ones where might be a poor example of what to watch to do, but good to learn from. Alrighty. So, again, starting just one set of tangos. Regen, Gauntlets, Iron Branch. I like this a lot.
30 seconds to battle. Never witness another match like this.
Spectre's starting damage is pretty low, actually. I kind of thought it was higher than this.
Welcome one and all to the main event.
Alright. Sick block again. Got those classic arcane boots queued up. Goes to the Empower level 1. Again, making sure he maintains that damage advantage in every possible way. Doesn't need to go for the Shockwave first.
I'm playing with you. You understand that, right?
Yeah, why is making this lane really, really hard here? He's got, like, the tangos are going to be more effective because of this, but, like, he's almost always at this kind of constant 8, -8 strength deficit, which makes it very hard to lane here. Mirror's doing a good job at just kind of poking this Undying away, though. Like, you know, Dark Willow doesn't care so much if her strength gets stolen, so you can see that Y just kind of, like, walks right past her and decides, alright, we're going to go on the Magnus. And Collapse is a little bit stuck here. Jukes out really nicely and makes his way off the lane here. He's going to get his magic stick so he can regen a little bit through that Undying spam. It's another set of tangos, so... There's a range creep. Good stuff, good stuff.
Is now active.
Yeah, I mean, like, he weathered the storm really well, like, at the beginning of this game here. Like, the Undying runs out of mana and has not gotten a kill. So, Undying goes and suicides to go back to base, teleports to mid lane to fill up Nothing to Say His bottle, and because of that, Collapse kind of just has a 1v1 on a hero that he has a massive damage advantage on. You can see that kind of popping up in the stats here, where he's, you know, he's only a couple CS ahead of the Spectre right now, but that's going to increase as time goes on. Strength stolen. The Shadow or Spectral Dagger out on him. Getting bullied a little bit here, but he's gonna get that salve. He's got a headdress up. I really like the headdress move in this game. It means that he gets more regen because he's kind of constantly at a lower health, so his percentage of health gain is gonna be going up every second with that flat health regen bonus. I was gonna say, like, I kind of feel like he I kind of feel like the Ring of Health would have been even nicer, but he doesn't really have an item that he wants to build out of Ring of Health this game. He wants that mechanism, so the headdress is kind of the key first item here. Gonna cut the wave. Not too worried about the Undying anymore. And yeah, Undying just fucks right off because there's action to be had bottom lane. Wants to kill Yutoro, and because of that, Collapse can just wave skip and keep the aggro right where he wants it and stabilize this lane. This is Spectre is top of the last hits chart, but
Double damage.
yeah. Okay.
Double kill.
Tops out, gets those arcane boots. Feeling good now. Bully the Spectre, just keeps punching him, punching him, punching him. Takes a creep wave, takes a hard camp. Gets an arcane ring, even nicer. All the mana you could possibly want in the world, some extra bonus armor. Threatening the RP, just dicking around a little bit, having some fun. TI finals, hell yeah. That's how you play, man. Top last hits again. And this is so crazy because, like, again, it's kind of similar to when I saw the Ursa. You know, when you see like Undying into Magnus, you're like, oh shit, that is a hard lane. Like, you get all your strength stolen. You know, if you get like a tombstone goes down, you have to skew her away. The Spectre's there. Spectre's tanky, hard to kill. You know, you can't really, you know, mess with her too much. But he just plays it calm. He gets the regen. He kind of weathers the storm. And the Undying just kind of runs out of resources to harass him. And he just slowly works it up. And you can see he's top of the net worth by like 20 CS now. He's beating Ame by 20 CS when only a few moments ago Ame was ahead of him. And just playing that jungle really well. Doesn't care. Rubik shows up, smacks him a little bit. And he's just regenerating like a madman. 9 HP per second. And he just owns the lane. LGD fucks off because they're scared of him. And that tier 1 is down. Again. Like, this is so sick. I wasn't sure if I was going to watch the losing games because I was like, I want to see the best performance. But every single game, even the ones that Team Spirit has lost, Collapse has had this exact same game plan. Like, 10 minutes, enemy tower down. It's crazy. He's so good. And I mean, I should give some credit to the other teams as well. It's not just that he's like an anomaly. This is happening in reverse, right? Ame rotates down to bottom, and Faith Beyond gets a tier 1 tower at the same time. They do trade. It's not like he's just winning his lane and getting a tower pre 10 minutes on his own. It's a conscious move to go with the first catapults and get the other team safely in tower. But the fact that he enables it so reliably, and there's never a scenario where the other team feels like they can come challenge him or that they've ganked him and he doesn't feel strong enough to make that move, that's kind of the impressive thing in my mind. Yeah, I mean, we're kind of off to the races again in this game. Like, I think they end up losing this game, but it doesn't matter. They're getting the Empower on the Phantom Assassin. She's farming like crazy, up to the top of the net worth chart by a pretty decent margin. And Collapse has his Arcane Boots and Mech again before 12 minutes. Absolutely clinical. Alright. Spilling water all over myself. Alright, cool. Let's watch games 4 and 5, and then, yeah, we'll see where we're at from there.
It is Radiant's man.
Alright, jump to game. Jump ahead 60. Let's go. Where are you at, Magnus? This is interesting. Starting just Quang Blade Tango. And,
Just 30 seconds now.
holding on to 400 gold. What is the idea here? I want to see who his lane was first. See if he was against Lion or Wyvern, I guess.
It's time now for the final fight.
What's he doing? I think I actually fell asleep for this game, so this one will be the one that I don't remember. Pulled a hard all-nighter last night. Okay, so starting with Shockwave again this time. Okay, so I guess he's decided at the start of this game that he wants to go for this Helmet of Dominator. So he just goes for the Quelling Blade with the Tango and says, alright, I'm going to rush this Helm of Iron Will, get all the armor and HP regen that I need to survive in this lane. That's kind of cool. Oh, wait. Holy shit. Okay, I'm watching the wrong team. Jesus, fuck. Hold up! Okay. That's funny as hell that, yeah, like I said, I slept during this game, so I have... Shit! Alright, editing that one out of the video. Hey look, it's Collapse playing Axe, not Magnus. Fuck! Okay, alright, let's start again. Let's go back a minute or two here. Ooh, okay. I was like, that's not like him. That's very weird. He hasn't bought a Helm of the Dominator this whole thing. Why is he doing that? Fuck. Cause it's not Collapse! Alright, where's this boy at? He's playing Axe. Starts out Ring Protection, Quelling Blade, Fairy Fire, Iron Branch. It's kind of interesting. This is the first time we've seen him go for more regen than just the Tangos. And I guess it's just a Fairy Fire. Going straight for that Vanguard, so obviously Ring of Health is going to be the first thing he's after there. So he's going to go for that kind of same rush for that first regen item. Holy shit, that is so funny. I'm an idiot. Fuck. Ay. Alright, Collapse. Axe. Aximus Maximus. I mean, that kind of would have been interesting to see what Faith Beyond does there too, but, yeah, cool. Alright. Very typical Axe start. Starting out with that Battle Hunger, he's going to throw it on the carry, harass him up before he gets the first last hit, get a little bit of damage on there, cool. We all know how this works. Last hits, bing bang boom. One thing I did notice, and actually this might be worth like kind of going back to look at here, is I did notice that like whenever Puppy comes around to kind of sandwich from the top half, like you can see this movement up, or not Puppy, fuck, Puppy, I'm used to the first Secret Series. Whenever Y comes around here, right, he starts getting a little bit of ground on this Lion, because Lion doesn't want to get Brain Sap, so he runs up around here, and as soon as Lion backs up, he goes, alright, cool, you know, I can come down and I can hit Collapse. But Collapse, like, he doesn't walk up and cede that space, right? Because if he walks up, Ame is going to follow, probably get to level 2, have a loose, not quite level 2, but like, would be able to kind of chase in and they'd be able to create that little bit of space. Instead, Collapse sinks deeper into the creep wave. He moves down here towards these trees, and Mira kind of moves back with him, kind of using that creep wave as a buffer so that if Y wants to chase, he has to walk down into this space and take that creep aggro, right? Because if he clicks on either of those heroes in this space, all these creeps are going to run at him and kill him. But if these two heroes fall back up to here, the creep wave stays here, and then Ame follows up, they're out in open space, and then these attacks are going to be free. So he's going to be able to attack, Brain Sap, and if Luna was a higher level, would be able to Lucent Beam and kind of contribute to that as well. So kind of a really minor thing again, but just kind of something that really good players do. They'll sink into that creep wave and use it as a buffer, right? They've got 4 creeps right now. And so if Ame or Y draw that creep aggro over, they're going to start taking a bunch of damage, right? And, you know, really good players understand that about creep aggro. You kind of want to use that creep wave as a buffer. You want to play down to the bottom side of the creep wave versus running out into open space where you can be chased down. Super cool. What are these invites? Who is this? Kelowna, Tokyo. Oh, look, he's playing Slay the Spire now. Okay. Alright, missed a little bit of that. I don't think it mattered. Racking up that gold, going straight for that Ring of Health. He's only a couple hundred gold off of that. He's got Spin, he's going to walk into that creep wave, take some damage, he doesn't really care too much. Still just rocking that one set of tangos, that's all he needs. Why is having a rough lane here?
none for you.
Ring of Health acquired and on its way. And Axe is now invincible. 16 last hits to the Luna's 7. Ame is having a real rough lane in this game. Again, I've been saying this with every game that we've watched here, but it's just clinical. You know, nothing crazy, no insane outplays. He is just making the right little moves. And you can see this here, like, that was kind of interesting too. Like, you could see it there. That was exactly what I was talking about before. Was Lion gets caught, separated from the creep wave up here, and Y is able to chase him down, Nightmare him, and attack him. And instead of kind of Collapse coming back and letting them walk up there together, he sinks into this creep wave and he tries to cut off the Luna. He tries to say, okay, if you're going to walk forward and try to loosen be my Lion, I'm going to have you in a creep wave. I'm going to be spinning all over you. Maybe I'll get something out of it. Doesn't end up happening, but you can see it here. This engagement starts, Luna starts walking forward, and he walks down and attacks the Luna, drawing as much creep aggro as possible, hoping he can spin. He doesn't get a single spin there, but if he gets 2, he's doing decent like return damage on that Luna there. And there wasn't much he was going to do up at the top to help the Lion out. Maybe he takes the Nightmare off or something and saves, but, you know, in general, I think that's just a rough play where, you know, again, the Lion gets caught walking backwards instead of walking off to the side or down into a creep wave, you know? But Collapse is already having the time of his life here. He's got his Ring of Health. Y is getting pushed out of this lane. Super low HP, he doesn't have a lot of regen left, and Collapse just doesn't give a fuck. Is it a kill here? Should be a kill. Not a kill. Magic Stick saves a life, but
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Easiest money of my life! Denied!
gonna make a move to cut the creep wave here. So again, almost getting to that Vanguard. He almost has the gold. His courier is waiting at the side shop here, ready to go as soon as he gets that. Boom. He's got his full Vanguard before boots. So again, getting that first major item before his boots in the lane, knowing that if he's tanky enough, it doesn't matter how fast he moves. Full Vanguard, whatever. He's just gonna chase it down. And he's 2v1 right now, and he's getting this kill. No, he's not getting the kill. I was gonna say, that looked pretty sick, but yeah, Brain Sap is a really, really good spell, and with enough mangoes, you'll never die on Bane.
Dire should look to their middle tower.
The wages of fear.
And yeah, he's gonna be off to a farming bonanza at this point because, you know, once you have that 3 points counter helix with the Vanguard, it's like, you know, yeah, it just doesn't matter. Okay. Let's keep the post. No clips on Luna, eh? I feel like you'd want... Well, I guess you're only 1 point loosen beam. I was gonna say, I feel like you'd want Eclipse just so that you could try to kill this Axe if you ever find him out and, you know, Bane gets a Nightmare off or something, but... So this Ancient stack gets stolen by a bunch of zombies, but zombie gonna get dunked on, question mark? Oh my god, this is a 9/11. Nice. But stacks taken, that's all they need, and cool. Collapse. Back to bottom here. So I guess there's not too much more to get out of this game. I think the real thing I was watching for again is how does he start, how does he, you know, deal with that harass, how does he regen in the lane, and then how does he get his first item. And I think we kind of answered those questions already. This is, again, kind of following that same pattern that we saw on his Magnus, on his Mars, on his Tide Hunter, is, you know, show up with a couple, you know, efficient level 1 items, you know, limit the amount of money you're spending on regen, don't get extra salves tangos, let your 4-player buy those for you, and then, you know, as soon as you're as soon as you're good, right? As soon as you have that that first item, as soon as you have that Vanguard, that armlet, that headdress, your lane is set, right? Again, 10 minutes, you're kind of starting to see this thing. First catapult happens, he's tanking the wave so that it doesn't get killed off here. Luna comes back to defend this, so this is the one difference that we've seen in all the other games, is that usually Yatoro will rotate down for that 10-minute catapult. They'll get the tower together and then they'll trade it off. But because they had already lost their tier 1 here to LGD, they're not going to make that rotation, and yeah, Yatoro's playing Spectre. It's a little bit hard to help push tower like that. Alright, cool. I think we can call this a game in a few seconds here. Kind of curious how he makes his way to his Blink Dagger. I mean, he's already most of the way there, but... So where does he find this farm, I guess, is the real question.
Oh, bounty!
Invisibility.
Alright. So now they've got support on that tier 1. They're going for it. LGD's going to let him have it. Faith Beyond running over there with his Helmet of Dominator, his Arcane Boots. He's got the full blink at this point from Cutting Waves. Can I keep his way out of here? Or maybe not. Rough game for Collapse this time, actually. I would, I don't know if I'd say he lost his lane, because he was definitely, like, outlast hitting the Luna for a period, and he was really stable, but Luna was able to just walk out and go to the jungle and get a lot more last hits. I mean, you can see already, like, 150 last hits at 13 minutes. Absolutely crazy for Ame, and yeah, I can see kind of where this game is starting to go downhill already. Alright, cool. Let's check out the last game. The Game 5... Cool. Alright. Jump to game. Skip ahead. Let's go. Alright. It is the Magnus this time. Okay, so that's exactly what happened last game. Was I went into the game, I went, oh, of course Collapse is playing Magnus, and I just double-clicked the Magnus up at the top here, and that's how I ended up on Faith Beyond. Faith Beyond playing the Like in this game, right? Yeah, okay. So, and this is kind of interesting watching him, because when he goes for this Helm of the Dawn build, he did it both on the Magnus and on this Lycan here. He's going to go for the Tangos and the Quelling Blade. But Collapse really seems to favor these couple gauntlets to help get him off to the right start. Spending all of the starting gold and then going straight for that first item. Interesting that this game he didn't go for the Ring of Regen. I think that's pretty typical. Well, on his Magnus, I think in all the Magnus games we've watched, he's gone for the Ring of Regen because he wanted to go straight into the headdress. I think because he's laning against a Tiny this game, he's gone to the Gauntlets of Strength to make sure that he has more base damage so that he can help keep up with this Tiny, because Tiny has that 72 base damage plus the Quelling Blade. So by doing this, he keeps a closer delta between the two attack damages, and he can get more last hits on lane. We'll see what he starts with if he goes Shockwave or Empower at level 1. Because I think last time he played Tiny in the Secret Series, he went for the Shockwave so that he could guarantee himself some last hits in the first wave. He's going to go for Empower here, so slightly different approach. I'm curious what the difference was between those two games. It might be that Mira is playing the Bane so he can Brain Sap secure the range creep, whereas I think in the first game he was laning with Mira playing Dark Willow, and Willow is much worse at securing range creeps, just because Brambles doesn't, you know, it does kind of tick damage. You can click through it and get rid of it, so. Alright, he's got Tangos and a Ring of Regen coming out on the courier right away, so he's taking a little bit of that harass damage from that Enchantress and that Tiny Tree right away, so he's making sure that he's got Regen coming to keep him healthy, and Mira's already contributed to Salve over, so this lane is looking a little bit rougher in terms of just like the harass damage that Collapse is going to take in your opening couple waves here. In the other games we've seen, Mira has been kind of able to take the 5 position and just draw them away a little bit and give Collapse more of a 1v1. But you can see in this game that like Y is staying right in the creep wave, and he's using impetus to get that harass in without messing up the creep wave. And because of that, they've kind of created this situation where Collapse is just going to take more damage, and Mira can't quite contribute as much to keeping him safe. Alright, so not going for the level 2 skewer, wants to get that shockwave up, help secure a few more last hits. Again, I really see the way that he plays these lanes as like, you know, a rush to that first item, right? Use, you know, cut every corner you can in service of getting your first big item. And you can kind of see him doing that here, where instead of, you know, he's using his mana pool, right? He's using every resource he has to try to get himself closer towards that first item. Great early kill there. They get the Enchantress and first blood on Collapse. Absolute beauty. And that's going to contribute a lot. What did he just buy on the courier there? Boots. Okay. So I think he sees there being potential for kills in this lane, especially because they kind of have the Nightmare set up. If he can get on top of any hero that gets Nightmared, it's going to spell bad news for whatever hero that is. So Ame, Y, both in danger if this Bane can set up. So I think that kind of justifies the Boots pickup over going immediately into this kind of headdress. Plus, I guess on his Magnus games, he has been favoring these Arcane Boots a lot. So I guess that just gets you closer to that. But it's not that kind of heavy regen item like we were seeing in some of the other games.
Is mine.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Look at the last hits chart. Tiny is up a little bit, but he is keeping pace. Now that he has 2 points in Empower, I think he actually does more damage than Tiny. Yeah, he does. So as long as Empower is up, he is hitting harder, and he's getting a lot out of this lane here. Oh, that's... yeah, that is a sad self-cancel there. Yeah, Wild Wing Ripper cancels that off. Mira's handing another salvo, and you can actually see how poor Mira is as well. No boots, all he has is a Windlace to his name, and I think he's basically just going to go Suicide and... oh, no, I thought he was going to go Suicide to a tier 2, but he ends up TPing back to base anyways. This is just a depressed Bane. He's had to spend a good chunk of his gold keeping Collapse healthy in this lane, and yeah. He'll get a little bit out of that ward. I think they saw them place it, so he's got the sentry ready to go. But, yeah, Magnus is off to a good start. Why is in here hunting him down? Ooh, that, yeah, came to the wrong neighborhood, motherfucker. Damn!
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Glyph is now active.
Alright, they get the Nightmare.
Radiant should look to their middle tower.
Kind of got creep blocked there. He couldn't quite get the skewer that he wanted off. Chasing Ame down, but it's not quite enough. Yeah, he just gets to walk away from that. Alright, Collapse heading back to the creep wave now. Just gonna farm it back up. He's definitely having a much rougher game this game than he did in any of the other ones, and I think could be a combination of things. I mean, this was the 8th game he played in a single day, so could just be rough times, but also I think this Bane versus Ench matchup has been a little bit interesting as well, because I think Ench really used that creep wave well, right? Stood right in the middle of a creep wave, it didn't aggro any creeps, and then just threw impetus, and it made it really hard for Bane to kind of approach and get that harass off that you'd expect, which would kind of separate the supports away from the cores in the lane. So Collapse ended up eating a lot more damage than he would have otherwise, and that meant that Mira had to buy him a lot more salves and kind of contribute economically to Collapse's success. But he is up to that headdress now, and he's kind of in his phase of, you know, getting that Empower up to a high level. He's going to start, you know, just smacking creep waves down, clearing them really rapidly, and being more comfortable. But I think in the last couple of games, you've seen this kind of rotation that LGD is committed to, where they've said, okay, we're going to try to shut Collapse down early. So they brought Jin Q and Nothing to Say up to top, and Collapse does see that rotation, so he backs away, and he's not in any trouble there. But he was, you know, I think in Game 4, when we watched that there, when they ran bottom on that Axe, he kind of had to die a couple times, and because of that, it set his game back, and you could start to see where the disadvantage came from that one.
Double
But
damage.
9 minutes, there's that rotation from Yatoro, and Collapse is ready with an RP. They're going to just cut this wave and go straight in under the tower. Ame is in a lot of trouble here. He's kind of stuck. They're going to Nightmare him. No, not going to go. There's a rotation coming back in. I guess I'm just kind of casting this game at this point, eh?
Radiant's middle tower is in. Middle tower is no more.
So slightly rougher game than some of the other ones we've watched, but he's going straight into that Blink Dagger here. He's got the headdress, he's got the Arcane Boots, and he'll have his Blink Dagger up in just a few seconds. So 12 minutes right into the Blink, and still not a bad lane. He's 2-0-0, so definitely didn't lose his lane. He didn't. He isn't falling behind. He didn't shut down the Tiny as much as maybe would have liked, but I think a lot of that just comes down to the idea that he's getting focused a little bit more. They're spending more attention on him. They're realizing that he's a big playmaker, that he's a big part of Team Spirit's success, and so they bring heroes to try to deal with that. They bring heroes that are going to try to shut down Collapse's game, and he just plays tactically, he plays conservatively, he backs up a little bit, avoids getting into too much trouble, plays it nice and calm, 2-0-0, and at 13 minutes he kind of walks back up here, and with Ame gone, he just brings down the tower, so... Oof, the game sense. Yeah, he dodges another gank there, that's huge as well. Sweet. Right on. Well, I think we're kind of through this. Like, I don't think there's too much more to watch here. I just really wanted to kind of investigate how he manages to play all these lanes and just how does he keep getting away with it? Because a couple of them, especially like that Ursa matchup, I was just scratching my head going, how do you come out of an Ursa Tide matchup just ahead? Like, how do you do that? That's insane. And just a combination of patience, help from his 4 position, really aggressive itemization, and just intelligent itemization too. Like his skill builds, his item builds, all fit the matchup really, really well. He knew exactly what he needed to do to secure those early range creeps, to secure that lane, and to get those first few items. And once he had that, he was just inherently stronger. His hero at level 6, 7, 8 with their first item was stronger than any carry, any Tiny with a Bracer or a Power Treads is going to be, any Luna with a Dragon Lance is going to be. And so he was able to just abuse that. That's really fucking cool. Alright, cool. I think I'm going to cut the stream here. Just wanted to kind of do that and you know, make this is probably just going to get clipped into a YouTube video as well. So if you want to check this VOD out later, if you joined kind of halfway and you missed what was going on, check it out, youtube.com/Cptn.Canuck Dota. Link is down below in the description. Otherwise, thanks for hanging out. This is really cool. I might do some more of these and just try to look into some more stuff. I want to get into more analyst type things. I'd love to be invited out to be talent at something, you know, even a small scale LAN or whatever. I really like the process of breaking down games, and I think with this new DPC on the horizon, I'm really excited about what Dota is going to be like in this next year. So if you're interested in more content, leave a follow below, and check me out on Twitter, because that's where I tend to be the most yappy. I will be kind of posting any content that I do there, and any streams as they go live. So check it all out. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I will see you all next time.